I work the night shift at a satellite monitoring station. Not the kind people imagine. No big screens with astronauts floating by. No dramatic countdowns. No urgent radio chatter. Just me, a desk, a few monitors, and hundreds of dead satellites drifting quietly through space. Most of them are forgotten. Old research projects, abandoned experiments, cold metal husks circling the planet with no one listening anymore. My job is simple. I watch for interference, glitches, stray signals that might affect the active systems. Most nights, nothing happens. That's why I took the job. Quiet work, low stress, plenty of time to think, plenty of time to breathe, plenty of silence. The satellite was called Orion 12. It launched before I even started college. A small experimental relay satellite meant to test long-distance signal compression. It failed less than a year into operation. Power fluctuations, system instability, a slow, silent death. The official status in our system read, decommissioned, no activity since 2013. Dead, cold, gone. Except 2 weeks ago, it wasn't. It started as a faint anomaly on my monitor, barely noticeable, a tiny blip in the noise floor. At first, I assumed it was interference. Cosmic radiation sometimes causes small distortions. Solar wind can do strange things to old equipment. I logged it, made a note, moved on. The next night, the blip was still there. Same frequency, same position, same satellite. I zoomed in on the signal. Static, mostly, but static with structure. Have you ever listened to white noise long enough that your brain starts finding patterns? Like hearing voices in the hum of a fan, or faces in the dark. It felt like that. But this wasn't my imagination. The waveform was repeating, not perfectly, but close. A soft rhythm hidden beneath the noise. I recorded it, exported the data, ran it through a basic filter. What came out made my stomach tighten. There was a pattern, a slow, uneven pattern. 3 short pulses, pause. 2 longer pulses, pause. 3 short again. Not random, not mechanical. It sounded almost like knocking. I didn't tell anyone, not because I was scared, not yet, but because I didn't want to be the guy who overreacted to a harmless anomaly. So I did what anyone would do. I listened. Every night after that, I tuned my station just slightly toward Orion 12. The knocking was always there, soft, distant, patient. Never louder, never weaker. Just steady, like someone waiting. After a few nights, something stranger happened. I started noticing the timing, the pauses between the knocks. They weren't random. They were consistent. Consistent with something else. My heartbeat. I didn't believe it at first, so I tested it. Held my breath, slowed my pulse. The knocking slowed. Sat straighter, let my heart pick up. The knocking followed. It wasn't perfectly precise, but it was close enough to make the room feel suddenly smaller. I sat there for a long time that night, not scared, just listening. After that, it started responding to other things. I know how that sounds. I know. But you have to understand something. This wasn't imagination. This wasn't paranoia. The data supported it. The logs showed changes only when I was present, only when I was engaged with it, only when I was listening. When I leaned forward, the rhythm shifted. When I whispered, the signal fluctuated, not in volume, but in pattern, like it was noticing me. I know how that sounds. I know. A week ago, the signal changed. Not just knocks anymore. There was a new layer, a low-frequency tone beneath the static, almost too low to hear. More like something you feel in your chest than something your ears catch. I ran it through another filter, then another, then slowed it down. What came through made my breath stop. It wasn't noise. It was structured, intentional, like a signal shaped into something closer to information. Now, look, I'm not saying it was a voice. 2 nights ago, something else appeared in the data. Coordinates. Not broadcast clearly, not written out, but embedded in the signal like a fingerprint. Geographic coordinates. I copied them, opened a map, expected them to point somewhere random, some empty stretch of ocean, some uninhabited forest. Instead, they pointed to my building. Not just the city, not just the area, the exact location. The monitoring station, my desk. Not exactly, but when I closed my eyes while listening to it, my mind filled in the gaps. Like listening to someone speak from another room. You can't hear the words, but you know someone is there. 2 nights ago, something else appeared in the data. Coordinates. Not broadcast clearly, not written out, but embedded in the signal like a fingerprint. Geographic coordinates. I copied them, opened a map, expected them to point somewhere random, some empty stretch of ocean, some uninhabited forest. Instead, they pointed to my building. Not just the city, not just the area, the exact location, the monitoring station, my desk. I laughed when I saw it, a nervous laugh, the kind you use when your brain is trying to stay calm. Coincidence, statistical noise, pattern bias. That's what I told myself. But the knocking changed after that. It became slower, more deliberate, less like background noise, more like communication. Last night, I did something I probably shouldn't have. The signal stopped instantly. Not faded, not weakened. Stopped. The screen went flat. No noise, no static, no pattern. Dead. Completely dead. Like Orion 12 had finally gone back to being what it was supposed to be. A silent piece of metal drifting in space. I spoke out loud. Just once. Just a whisper. I said, I hear you. I should have felt relief. Instead, the room felt wrong. Too quiet. Like the moment after a sound stops and you realized you'd grown used to it. That was 3 hours ago. The signal hasn't returned, but I'm still here, still sitting at my desk, still listening. Because there's something else now. Not on the monitors, Not in the headphones. Something softer, something closer. A faint sound beneath the building's natural creaks. A slow rhythm I can't unhear. Not coming from the speakers, not coming from the equipment, but from somewhere deeper in the walls. Patient, steady, waiting, like knocking. And the strangest part? It matches my heartbeat perfectly.